अनुराग सर, ये बोलना है ना सारा, स्टूडेंट्स भी ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं।
करिए सर।
हाँ सर।
सब देखिए।
Hi, Dr. Anurag. Hope I am audible to you.
Yeah, ma'am, you are
Yes,
audible.
ma'am, you
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
sir, Vinay sir, can we start?
More than 100
Okay,
students
sir.
have joined, so I think we can start.
Okay, sir. So over to Shimran.
A very a very warm good morning to one and all. Respected guest speaker, Ms. Smriti Gupta, Senior Consultant, NIRAS AS, Life Science LIDK, Denmark. Respected Professor Dr. Vinay Dwivedi, Director, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, faculty members, and all the participants. A hearty welcome to one and all in the expert talk on innovation, prototype, validation, converting innovation into a startup under the aegis of Institute's Innovation Council and Amity Innovation Incubator. May I have the privilege to introduce our guest speaker? Ms. Smriti Gupta is a biotechnology engineer currently working as a senior consultant, NIRAS AS, Life Science LIDK, Denmark, with commissioning, qualification, and software validation activities, having more than 11 years of working experience in different fields. She has worked in biopharma manufacturing, operated core life science equipment bioreactor and fermenters, transited from core process to process automation to translate the process into automation of giant equipment. She has worked with world's leading automation company Siemens Limited in business development and tech domain. She has also she has a global experience and expertise in European life science market, Ireland and Denmark. May I now invite our guest speaker, Ms. Smriti Gupta, for her talk. Ma'am, please.
Hi, all of you. And it's nice seeing you all. I'm really grateful for Amity University to invite me in here for the guest lecture on innovation and startups in biotechnology. I would like to tell you a brief about myself. So, though Simran has introduced me pretty well, and thank you for that. I am actually a biotech engineer and from Gwalior. So that might resonate with you all pretty well because you are all also from Amity University, Gwalior. And I'm glad that we all are here as a community. So I did my biotech long back in 2013. I completed it and I did it from MITS, Madhav Institute of Technology and Science, which is located at Goleka Mandir. And from there, I entered into the biotechnology field, the core industrial biopharma. And since then, I have changed into multiple domains from process to automation. And now I am here in one of the most important phase of the projects, which is commissioning, qualification, and validation, all around biopharma and biotechnology. So that's a short of me. And maybe we can start now on with the presentation and the topic we have gathered here for. I hope that's okay, right? Dr. Anurag or Dr. Vinay, any one of you?
Yeah, it's okay, ma'am. You can continue, please.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So I'll share my screen. So I hope you can see my presentation, which is not in presentation mode yet, but then yeah. So, yep. I'll start now.
Yes, ma'am, it is good.
Thank you so much. So we'll start now, and today's topic is around startups and innovation in biotechnology, specifically as the field. So here we go. What we are going to cover in today's whole presentation is biotechnology startup, a definition, key areas of innovation, global biotech ecosystem. Okay, so yeah, global biotech ecosystem, it's really important then when you are really thinking of some startups and innovation, then you start locally, but then you also think globally. Difference in approach, traditional setup versus startups. Startups in India and case studies around those, established setups and locations, because those will really inspire you to why you want to do that and what has been their history. Future of biotech in India, that's very bright, I can say in the initial stage only. And entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, so we start here, biotech startups and key area of innovation. Most important thing is that when we think about biotech startups, though these are few of the key areas, but if you have to think from the basic, then what you should be thinking about is anything related to life. It could be microorganism, it could be plant cell, it could be animal cells, and anything you can do around these is related to biotech and could be called as a biotech startup or an innovation. So you use cells even for converting it into plastic, bioplastics, then that is something which will fall under biotech startups. Yeah. Now, the key areas of innovation as of now in the market are healthcare, agriculture, industrial, and environment. And these are all around us. We day in, day out deal with all of these. So these are easily relatable. Now, when I come to healthcare, is new drugs and vaccines. Personalized medicine, which is a new genre now, and people want to really follow it. So new drugs and vaccines, we know there are a hell lot of diseases and illnesses, and then you need really some vaccines or drugs, maybe oral drugs, injections for that to be treated. When I come to this particular area of the biotech, it is highly regulatory compliant. And then what all you have to do. So if you really want to launch something in US market, then you should be aware about US FDA. If you want to launch anything in European market, you should be aware about UDRELX. If you want to launch anything in UK, MHRA. And if you want to launch locally, start locally, then CDSCO. And there are FSSAI guidelines, there are DBT guidelines for India. So these are the things you'll need to really focus when you think of innovating a medicine or something which could be probably consumed as drugs. Now, GMP requirement against this particular domains is stringent. Many of you might know what GMP is, but whosoever doesn't know, then GMP is good manufacturing practices. And that's a basic guideline you will need to always follow, because always remember whenever you are dealing with the healthcare domain of biotechnology, that you are going to make something which is for patient, not against patient. So it will be injected within the body of a patient, or maybe it will be taken orally into the immune system. So the GMP requirement against this is stringent. And this is where basically the startups has to think about. So if you start early, then, and if you really want to enter into the domain of healthcare, it would be a good idea that you start learning about the regulatory requirements and GMP requirement against this domain. Now, when it comes to agriculture, then there could be modified crops. One of those example is drought-resistant crops or biofertilizers. What you need to really comply with is food and safety regulations, because this is being then again consumed by human beings. Food labeling, because whatever you are using to grow such crops or fertilizers, you will need to label those so that people know that what they are consuming. There is now new norm from FSSAI that you have to also mark allergens onto the food products. So anything which comes out of the agriculture has to be marked like that. Likewise, GMP requirement, no, null, because you are not really injecting it to somebody's body, or it is not going to contribute to the immune facilitation. Industrial biotech is a wider topic. I have taken few of the examples down from there. But if we talk about large pharmaceuticals, even that is industrial biotech. Then comes is bioplastics, biofuels, minimal requirement of regulatories, but still you have to ensure because they are going to be used by human beings again. So their reusability and interaction with human has to be thought of. So anything which you are making with bio, you just have to think that how will it interact to human body and to what extent it would interact to human body. And then you will basically align with the regulatory requirements. Environment, when I say, then wastewater treatment, bioremediation. Wastewater treatment is because generally people would be very happy to produce anything, but then what is waste is just discarded. So you have norms against that as well, that whatever you are discarding into the mainstream of wastewater should not contain any bioepigents. If they so, then you have a strong chance that you will be assessed by a regulatory body. Bioremediation is one of the common example could be bioremediation of the soil. Like nowadays, we know that we are using so many fertilizers, so many pesticides, then remediating those things with bioorganisms so that you can get the organics back. So that's also one of the genre. Now, when I come to global market, global biotech market versus Indian biotech economy system, then how it is really performing right now. And it is important for you to know, because if you want to really enter into this field of innovation, then you should start thinking locally, but also take your perspective to global angles. So startup density, very high in US, EU, and China. But India, bear in mind, India is the largest emerging market of biotechnology. Though it is concentrated in few of the cities towards the south side where the commercials, R&Ds exist, but then it is a good market. It is really a best market, I would say. Investment availability is high venture capital in global biotech systems. Government support is there. So in India, because government has a strong push on this. I should have done this earlier, but no, okay. So growing venture capital, the venture capital is limited because you have to explain your ideas to people. People are ready to invest, but then generally biotechnology is a field which is not explained better to the investors. And then there you face the challenge. So if you're expressing your idea very better with a future perspective, you have a really good chance here. And strong government push, when I say, then because you are all from biotechnology, I hope that you might have also heard a speech from our esteemed Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that he plans that 2030, India should be the global leading market of biopharma. So that really gives us an edge that we contribute to that. Innovation and focus, cutting edge therapeutics, AI and genomics, where I come to Indian bio system, it is biosimilars, vaccines, AI-assisted drug discovery. And also take a note of it that we are the largest producer of biosimilars in the world. So see, this is the market which we are talking about, and we are all sitting down there. So anything which we do in this domain will definitely be successful. Challenges, of course, and it is not only in India, it is globally, that you face a lot of regulatory hurdles. And that, in my perspective, is good also, because when you are producing something which is to be consumed by human beings as vaccines, assume that you are bringing a vaccine tomorrow. And then how critical would it be if you give it to some of your relative or your near and dear ones? Should it not be regularized? It should be. So that's the reason that there are regulatory hurdles, because it takes a lot of time to really come up to a position where you can say, okay, this is fine for consumption, but it is good in its own domain. Then the challenge that you are facing in Indian biotech economy system is again funding gaps, because you have to explain what biotech can bring onto the table, and commercialization, which is being broadly supported now by the government as well, and by other organizations. There are organizations who act as incubators for you. We will discuss about that in the later slide. Collaboration is pharma startups plus global partnerships. And so you see here that in India, we are having an increased global collaboration. And that's very evident because whosoever has been settled in the biotech organization are exporting 70 to 80% of their drugs to US market or EU market. So we have that kind of a potential, and it is being widely accepted. Now, when it comes to the difference between traditional and innovation setups. So traditional setups are generally the setups which are already existing in the market. They have big brand, big name values. And innovation and startups are something which is being started as new by thinking something new. So general idea of traditional pharma biotech setup is business model wise, they are very large, established companies, but they started small. So bear in mind that they started small. And I'll give you one of the examples in the later stage. Focus on proven revenue streams, because they have now did a lot of research on the market, and they focus on the proven revenue streams. They are very slow because they don't want to really end up into something which would occur loss for them. Wherein comparatively, innovation setups are really bright because they have small teams. They work on high risk and high rewards project. So they work with idea. Whenever an innovation has to start, it starts with the idea. It doesn't always start with profitability in mind. It starts with an idea, what you really want to focus on to. And once you have achieved that, then obviously quality follows. And with quality, revenue follows, profitability follows. The most beautiful thing of innovation startup is you are flexible, and your strategies can be redirected. It is not very stringent that you'll need to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 level up and really decide that what to do and what not to do. So you can quickly shift because you know what your focus is. R&D approach, incremental innovation, long development cycle, because they are already in the market, so they take their own time and everything. Extensive clinical trials and regulatory focus. It's not like that innovation doesn't focus on regulatory, but they are very willing to experiment with unconventional approaches, and which is very good, because then you think out of the box. You are not bounded by a document called as operating procedure, and then you're working accordingly. They work on shorter timelines with proof of concept. So if they have a proof of concept, they don't enter into a long development cycle, because if you have a proof of concept, you can go to an investor who would be ready to really invest in this business with you, with an idea, and then from there you grow. Funding is, they are almost self-funded, wherein innovations are in many cases venture capital. And they're also dependent on milestone and investor confidence, because if somebody is investing in your business, then they would like to know. So bear in mind that when you are starting a innovation startup, your investors would keep asking you, where did we reach? do you think that we will be able to complete this within this timeline? Because they are ultimately looking for returns on their investment. So it is milestone based. Once you get this milestone, then you get another slot of investment where you can grow again, and which should be acceptable. Because if an investor says that I will invest for your entire project, that's not going to happen. The investor should take steps to really get upgraded. Cultural and decision making, this is very hierarchical. They go by system, wherein innovations are very collaborative, flat cultures, because innovations joined with vision. Always remember, innovation and a startup starts with a vision, and that's what they work for. They don't work for profitability in one go. They don't work that what as a result we are going to get. Their only result they wait for is that whatever they are making is beneficial with the vision they started. They have decisions as fast and often driven by visionaries, because visionaries have a vision that we want to reach there. Yeah, that what really we are looking for mankind. So their decisions are really fast. And rewards, the traditional setup has low risk because they have, see here, they have taken 10 to 15 years for development. Somebody who has taken 10 to 15 years for development itself, why would they not have lower risk on their project? And predictable returns. But in here, because we work on short timelines and work on visions, there is high risk of failure. But remember, potential for huge upside if successful. So if you enter with a vision and then you continue working towards it with your basics of how to enter into the market, you stand a very, very good chance that you'll be successful in the market. And also remember that this is an area which is blooming right now. So biotech is something which is in demand by consumers, which is in demand by producers. So this is a market where you can really invest your time into. Now, where do we stand right now? And this is all about where does India stand right now. So you already have 5,000 biotech startups in different areas. It is not only healthcare, it is agricultural, it is many other genres as well, architect. Pioneers who started small, Biocon, Bharat Biotech Serum Institute. Biocon specifically, if I talk about with what they started was papain enzyme. Right now, biotech is a global leader in biosimilar production. Not only in India, they have their office in Malaysia, they have their office in US, but they started just with a vision of extracting papain enzyme from papaya, which is a very small task for us innovation to really start. So that's how they invented it, and now what they are, you can see. Now emerging are MapMyGenome, MolBio, StringBio, Mycelia. There are many more. So they are really working in their own domains, because now the definition of biotech has expanded a lot beyond healthcare as well. And government support, if you don't know, are available, which are big grant from BIRAC, DBT, Startup India. DBT specifically also contributes for people who want to really enter into a professional experience in biotech. You all might have heard about BCIL, Biotech Consortium India Limited, and BITP, Biotech Industrial Training Program. So this is what also will help you to sustain a startup, but also will help you to enter into a professional world where you really want to explore the market or enter into one of the giants down here. You also have incubators, which are extensively working to support people like you to get started. And what are incubators? Incubators could be financial supporters. Incubators could be mentors who can give boost to your ideas and guide you wherever required. Incubators could also be the facilities which have all the equipments in their facility, instruments in their facility for you to keep doing the research. So it is not really feasible for a startup to establish a laboratory or bring a lab for that matter, or buy an autoclave for that matter. We all know that we cannot start that big. So incubators generally have those kind of setup where you go, you explore your idea, you do all kind of research using their equipments, instruments, and once your idea is foolproof, you have proof of concept, you have investors, then you go into the market and set up your own. But for anybody who really wants to start, then incubators could be very good idea without investing a lot onto the R&D phase of it. Venture capital interest, I had already explained you about the venture capital, and then academia industry collaboration. So nowadays, it is also that academics are collaborating with industry and vice versa. Industry is trying to collaborate with academics. So industry generally inspires academics to take up those projects via their students, where they can really do some research. And if that research is successful, then that is published through the industry, and vice versa. Okay, so now here we go about the most inspiration part of this slide deck, which is the case studies and the people who took a chance and are really celebrating it nowadays. So Spring Bio, they came up with a concept of producing proteins from methane. And I mean, in my wildest thought when I was studying, I never thought that I knew that methane is abundant. But what can I do from methane? And they did it. It's protein from methane. Bugworth Research, they are working on new antibiotics producing, and they are working on a specific area of new antibiotics, which is microbial resistant antibiotics. So what happens is you take antibiotics for definitely killing the microorganism. So what does this do differently is, over the period of time, when you keep taking antibiotics, your body develops a resistance to microbes. And then after taking the antibiotics also, you develop a strain which will still be harmful for you. So they are working on this particular domain where they are generating antibiotics which will act on microbial resistant people. And that's very great. C6 Energy, seaweed-based biofuels. Mycelius, this is very fascinating, fungi-derived biomaterial for architecture. So imagine that your house or buildings down near you will have a biomaterial, will not have any harmful or synthetic material, but a fungi-derived biomaterial. And also see that how much you can produce, because you can grow fungi as much as possible. So this is from Mycelium. You might have heard about it already. Eye System concentrates on cell-based therapies for eye diseases. Pandorum Technology, a tissue engineering and regenerative medicine company. And Map My Genome, they're working on genomics and health. So mapping the genomes so that you know, right, how your body functions, and then converting it to health journal. Okay. Then you should also know about the established organizations and their locations, which are very prominent and holding 60 to 70% share of the global market of supplies for biosimilars, vaccines. And I'm really proud of it that we are supplying so much to globe. And then that also tells us the potential which we hold within India to grow. So Syngene Limited, Biocon Limited, Reliance Life Sciences, Biologically, Serum Institute, Intas, Dr. Reddy's, Bharat Biotech, and Shanta. They are big giants. If some of you would really want to get trained first or gain the experience of GMP, then these are the organizations you can join, where you gain the experience of GMP and then use that experience towards your own innovation. It is always good that instead of learning about the regulatories and GMPs on theory, you go there, you experience it, and when you have learned it, come back and start your own setup. So I hope all of you know Serum Institute, and if you don't, it is pre-mandatory that you should know them, because when COVID-19 struck, we were all in panic situation, and this was the institute who gave us Covishield. We are vaccinated with it. Same as with Bharat Biotech. If you don't know about them, they are also the one who collaborated highly and researched quickly to give us Covaxin, another vaccine for COVID-19, which saved us. And all the others are really dominating in their own genres of bioproduction. If I talk about Syngene Limited, they are contract research organization located in Bangalore. Biocon Limited, again located in Bangalore, developing biosimilars, manufacturing biosimilars. Reliance Life Sciences, located in Mumbai and Nasik, leading biopharma company in the development and manufacturing of biosimilars, and also plasma-based products. They are the leading firm in the plasma-based products. None of the biggest organization have ever entered into the plasma when Reliance did, and they are the largest supplier of plasma-based products in India. Biologically Limited, located in Hyderabad, pharmaceutical company which gives you a lot of vaccines. Serum Institute, pioneer in child vaccines. So if you talk about the measles vaccines, which we normally get as child, yeah, or BCGs, these are all manufactured by Serum, not only for India, they are the largest exporter wide world for child vaccinations. So, and they are located in Pune. Intas Limited, located in Gujarat. They are producers of therapeutic drugs and also engaged in clinical research and manufacturing. Dr. Reddy's Laboratory, they have biosimilars, and once they used to rule the market with the number of biosimilars they had. I remember it was 2017 when they were published in the news for having highest amount of biosimilars in the market in India. Bharat Biotech, I told you about Covaxin. Apart from that, they are also contributing to therapeutics, other vaccines. Bharat Biotech is located in Hyderabad, and they also have something which they are opening in Odisha. Very, that's still in commissioning, but that will enter into the production very soon. Shanta Biotech, the first Indian company to develop and manufacture recombinant human healthcare proteins products, and which also includes hepatitis B. We all are vaccinated with hepatitis B. So it's Shanta Biotech who gave that to us, and they are nowadays known as Sanofi in the market. They are also from Hyderabad. So most of them are towards the south of India, but they are doing really, really, really well. And they have their own niche where they collaborate not only with Indian market, they not only support us, but they also support the global market. I myself have started my career from Reliance Life Sciences, and I worked on the production floor. And that's why I say to every one of you that if you really want to enter into even startup and innovation, don't start as an absolute fresher coming from the books. Also start with practicalities in your life, which you will really get in one of these organizations, and you will understand that how you have to ensure GMP, how you have to ensure regulatory requirement. Once when you are trained on it, and it will not take much of time for you, if you are inspired to open your own startup, then these will at least give you guide. This will act as practical guides for you. Yeah. Then we go to the future of biotech. How is Indian market planned to grow? So if we see the last year report, 2024 financial year was 32.6 billion USD market, and it is supposed to go up to 110 by 2033, which is in 10 years, threefolds. And threefolds of a market growth is really something like who deals in business knows that this is a real abrupt growth. So that is the potential of Indian biotech market. And for you to know, guys, that India is already a global pusher in the biotech market. So people from India are liked everywhere in biotech market. People from India have a broader perspective of growing into biotech market. You have industries which have set up themselves and which are doing really great, originating from India and doing really great into the market. Also, the most important thing is, as I told you, that it was declared in 2024 by the central government of India that they plan to make India a global leader in biopharma market. And that's a boost for all of you sitting down here, because it is us who is going to make that possible. The biopharma market depends on biotechnologists more than pharmacists. Generally, people think that biopharma, that means pharmacist. No, it is biotechnology, it is chemical students who really pursue this field and make it compatible. Okay, so how the different sectors are planned to grow. So biopharma and vaccines, this is the global scenario. Continued global leadership in vaccines, biosimilars, biologics. And the most important thing is to read here, strong R&D pipeline. Because if you have products, then, and if you don't grow on them, then you will sometimes stabilize in the market. But the most important, beautiful thing which India possesses right now is that you have stronger R&D pipeline. So you have already products in R&D or maybe at advanced stage, which are ready to be launched. And imagine, well, we are leading the market with the products produced right now. How will we really excel in the market once the R&D comes out? So it is really beautiful. Precision medicine and oligonucleotides, which is the gene therapy. And this is one of the prevailing area which biopharma is working on to, where you now are focusing that instead of giving biosimilars or injections to the body, why don't we correct the gene? Why don't we correct the code which causes diseases? All of us know that the diseases which we carry from our past generations are all gene coded. So if you can correct that down there, then you can correct a lot of things. So the focus of industry has shifted to gene therapies, and so is India. Industrial and environmental biotech, sustainable tech in biofuels, enzymes, green materials, driving a circular economy. And biofuels, I would say, is one of the lovely domain all of us can work into, because we know that how the pollution is rising. So basically, when you are really thinking with business mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, then think on the problems. What problems are there in the market right now, and how you or your studies or biotechnology can help. So biofuel could be one of the things, because we all know that the country in itself is very polluted right now. Enzymes, green materials. Green materials is a new genre because everyone is talking about the sustainable growth. If you don't know, then sustainable growth is something which, because when the invention happened abruptly, and we have ended too few of the situations realizing that few of the things has caused a lot of pollution or a lot of instability in the ecosystem. So we all want to grow towards the sustainable environment. One of those is like we're working towards CO2 emissions. The CO2 emissions should be decreased, which can come from biofuels. Okay, then AI and bioinformatics must for today's student, I would say. Back like 10-11 years back, I would say bioinformatics was still prevailing because that's where you decode and encode the genes, but AI was not. Now AI has accelerated everything. So they have accelerated what? Drug discovery, predictive diagnostics, personalized healthcare. It is not like that AI is going to replace your job. You are a technical niche, so don't be worried about that. Technical niche will always prevail. AI is not going to replace any human being, at least in biotechnology, I know. But how will it help you? So it is an aid that will help you to accelerate the things. Imagine a human being researching on a medicine, reading 10 articles, and then concluding from those 10 articles that what should be right and what should be wrong. Instead, AI doing this job, because this is a laborious job, right? So somebody doing that for you, or somebody maybe contributing on a predictive diagnostics that a patient can be brought to hospital before the disease can really be diagnosed with the traditional methodology. So that's how it is going to support you. So take it as your companion, not opponent. Okay. Then global R&D hubs. That's very good in market, and you'll be glad to know that we have our own global R&D hubs down in Bangalore and Hyderabad. But also there are commercial investments which are planned to happen in India from big giants in biopharmaceutical. So whatever we have right now are all Indian origin, and they are performing really great into the market. But then there is also a plan that big giants from global market would expand in India. And the names are Takeda, BMS, AstraZeneca, Amgen, and many more. So they are known as one of the leaders in the biopharmaceutical industry down in global. Then biotech policy and startups. It is heavily supported by the government, and government also have a vision to really supersede whatever it has done so far. One of the interesting fact to know for you people, and it should also act as an inspiration, that recently, so the largest producer is India and also China parallelly. But recently, Western countries have sort of decided that they would not like to go more with products from China. Now, when that happens, India will take the boost because we are already leading the market. World demands the medicines. Where would the medicine come from? Who has the infrastructure? It's you. It's down in India. So it's where the government has taken an opportunity that this is the right time where biotech market and biopharma market should be supported. So you have not only your mental support, not only your teachers, your university support, but government support to really excel into the market. And this is one thing I like the most: fusion of AI, robotics, nanotech, and biotech. And this is amazing, because if you bring more competencies to biotech, then it can do miracles. So yeah, now we come on the solid entrepreneurial mindset. Think beyond the lab. That's important, because right now what you get as an exposure is labs. You might have also gone to some of the industries and you would have seen things over there. So start thinking beyond your lab, what your lab can do, but for what problem it can solve. So it's not that the basic concepts doesn't come from what you are studying right now. Please understand that whatever you are studying would be used by you as basic concept, whether you enter in the industry for a job or you open your own startup. Start thinking now when you are in lab that what I am doing and what can it contribute to me in the future, maybe after 5 years, after 10 years. How would this, what I am doing, would contribute to my knowledge? Adopt a problem-solving lens. So look at the issues outside and think that how biotechnology can really sort it. Because instead of sorting it through chemicals, machineries, which may cause pollution, which may cause noises, it is better solve it with something which is organic, which is biotech. Blend science with business. So how you can use this whole of the science which you are implementing in your lab day in, day out, doing autoclaves, doing agar plating, how you can use this science and convert it into a business. Stay agile and open to iteration, because you are entering into a domain of startup, if at all, then stay agile. Always plan your moves or your strategies into break groups. So a project in whole should not be called as one. A project in whole should be splitted into 10 small portions. If you fail, let's say at 4th step, then you are not restarting from step 1. You are just repeating step 4. So stay agile. That's what agile is. Understand regulations early. That's very, very important, because that's where you have to fight for everything. And regulations sometimes also ask for filing from the initial stage. So whatever work you are doing, you should know that how you will be using it for your own future. Understand regulations because that is important. Even big giants face trouble over here. Leverage networks and collaboration. Talk to people. If there are experts down around you, talk to them because they have seen world. They would know exactly that what they can help you with, or maybe if they cannot help you with, what you should be aware of. So collaborate more with people. Protect your ideas. If you think that your idea is very innovative, file a patent for it. Because there are thousands like you. So it is very important that if you have innovated something, protect it with a patent. Develop communication skill. That's not important for biotech because microorganism will grow irrespective. You say hi, good morning to them. They will grow. But the important thing is that you are entering into the entrepreneurship, and that demands a lot of communication. That demands you to present yourself in front of your investors. That demands you to present yourselves to regulatories, to anybody who you are talking to. So develop your communication skills so that you can communicate right, you can get answers right. Be global in thinking, local in action. That's important because when you start, why would you stop? So don't only think that whatever you are doing is for Indian market. Yeah, start with Indian market and think global because the domain in itself has potential to grow. And believe me, if you decide to grow in it, you have potential to grow. And adopt a long-term vision. That's my important and personal suggestion to all of you. Don't think that you will be successful after 6 months. No business gets success in 6 months. And specifically when you are dealing with something which has to have regulatory boundings, it takes its own time. So be agile and see that you have a long-term vision. You are not expecting it to give you return immediately. Yeah. Okay. With that, my portion is completed and I'm okay that if you have some questions, you can really put it forth.
Ma'am, there are some questions in the question
Chat.
answer panel chat,
Yeah.
in the chat, basically.
Yeah.
Bhavjot has asked a question.
Yeah. Okay, so Bhavjot has a question. I want to ask you that which type of biomaterial can we make in architectural industry? So Bhavjot, anything which is being like plastic panels nowadays, you might see, right? You might see tiles being used a lot. So the one venture I came across, what they are doing is they are growing mycelium, the fungus. And that fungus is being molded into, so once they grow it, then it is subsided with a biomaterial, biosustainability material, and then they are converting it into the panels which you generally put into the rooms, right? Or the plastic panels you might have seen in many of the cafes, shops, likewise. So that can be used that way. Now, what you are saving, and why would you like to do that? Because there are ample amount of chemicals with you, or maybe plastic. First is your idea will prevail in market because you are sustainable. You are not using any plastic. So this is a sustainable growth. Second is you would not need to keep buying raw material like plastic or wooden for that matter. You are growing the fungus. So likewise, there are many genres where you can also build maybe the tiles out of it because they are not harmful. And when you dispose them, they are not even harmful for the environment. So likewise. I hope I have answered your question.
Ma'am, there is another question from Kaustubh Vishwas.
Ask a company
chat
which is
box.
making. which is making new antibiotic against antimicrobial resistance, isn't it possible that particular microorganism may again become resistant to that new antibiotic? Yeah, that's pretty much possible, Kaustav. That's pretty much possible. But then why they are prevailing into the market, and then I believe that they will keep prevailing, is first thing, there was nobody who was really looking at this. So there were people who were taking antibiotics, a lot of antibiotics, and sometimes they become resistant and then nothing works on them. And then you give them high doses of antibiotics. But what happens is their organs get impacted. So high dose will impact that. But now what these people are doing is that they have the, what do you call it? Reversible properties. Now, when the reversible properties come into a medicine, then that is going to make you less antibiotic resistance. Okay, so whatever your body has grasped throughout the time, then it becomes more active towards the microbial strains. Now, when they launch any of the new antibiotic, which is maybe for the genre of microorganism, which for example, I have a resistance for, then what happens is they act on the suppressed immune system of your own. So that's how their market is going to get developed, and they will sustain in the market. Okay, so I have answered it for Kaustav. Then it is
Yes, ma'am.
Ikansh.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yep.
Ma'am, we have one more question from one of the students, Mr. Dhruv. So straight away, he'll be asking question from my system. So over to Dhruv.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, I wanted to know that according to you, which type of industries do you see as the more open to innovations in the upcoming years, next 5 to 10 years? Which industries, which type of industries
Which type of industry? Then
are basically more open to the innovations?
see, but the innovation in the field of, I would say, healthcare is very limited, because everyone is now, and why I am saying is very limited, because you are starting small. So if you have a different idea, like String Bio did, developing something which is not String Bio, it is Bugworks. Okay, so they did, which is developing some antibiotic which is microbial resistant. That's different. But healthcare, I would still say, has a limited scope, and also because you have a lot of regulatories to deal with. So it is better for if you really want to work into the healthcare industry, then work in collaboration with big industries. So you develop some ideas, innovate it, and then work along with them, maybe as partner. Don't sell it to them as partners, but then work with them. But other domains are like, and I'm really fascinated by those domains. Like if you are going to work towards the bioremediation of soil,
Yes.
there are very less people who are really thinking of it. Everybody is saying that the food is adulterated, there is too much of pesticide, this, and everyone is going organic also. So going organic is different from bioremediations. What if you have converted, let's say, 1,000 of acre of land to a soil which is not healthy for human beings now? And what if somebody starts working towards that? So that's one of the genre which is going to grow a lot. Then would be the genre of the biofuels. Because see, whenever you are thinking that what innovation idea could work, and you are not getting any idea, look for the problems around you. And the moment you are looking for the problems around you, you will get the solution. That pollution is a generic problem in India, right? And then if somebody works towards it, either you use biofuel by not contributing towards the pollution, or you develop some aids that are pollution absorbing. So I know that few people are innovating towards microbes who can degrade plastic. Now think, how much of a plastic we throw each year, and if something like that can be developed, then why would not your idea say? Think of the problems, and then you'll get your answers.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. So over to Shimran.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your deep insights and valuable information about innovation prototype validation, converting innovation into a startup. Now I invite Dr. Anurag Jyoti, the coordinator of this event, to propose the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Simran, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your nice presentation. So, our most valuable speaker, Ms. Smriti Gupta, and she's from Senior Consultant, NIRAS AS Life Sciences, Denmark. Professor Dr. Vinay Dwivedi, Director, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, faculty members, research scholars, and my dear students. So it is my profound privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. So I, on behalf of Amity Institute of Biotechnology and my own behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our esteemed guest speaker for gracing your ideas, sharing your important ideas with us, your insights and opinions today. So I'm sure that all the students must have been benefited and inspired by your great words. I would also like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Sir Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma, AVSF retired, and our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Sir Professor Dr. R.S. Tomar, sir, for their constant support and guidance to organize this event. I'm very thankful to all the faculty members and staff of AIB for their enormous cooperation in organizing this event. My special thanks go to our students for their active participation during the talk, especially Ms. Shimran Shayani for comparing this event. I am very much thankful to our IT department at Amity University Noida and Amity University Gwalior for providing all the IT support and made this event successful without any technical glitch. So our esteemed guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are very thankful for being with us this afternoon. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting. And thanks for all of the students as well for really attending this, because it is for you, for your benefits.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you all. Bye. Have a nice